Now, Crazy Rich Asians brought in $5 million at US cinemas on Wednesday, putting the film on track for a solid opening weekend. It's a rom-com, Hollywood's first film with an all-Asian cast in a quarter of a century. A group of Asian-American entrepreneurs across the country rented out theatres for special screenings. And on Wednesday, the executive producer, Kevin Kwan, told me there's a lot riding on the first few days.
We really needed something where we could show and prove box office numbers, because we wanted this movie to be an example of how movies of this sort that tell diverse stories, interesting, original characters can work, can succeed. And the only way to really show that is to see what happens at the box office on opening weekend.
And to that extent, if this is successful, then the rom-com duplicates will inevitably start of one description or another, correct?
Probably, but we're also hoping that this really offers opportunity for more voices, more diverse voices, telling stories that aren't just necessarily crazy rich.
CNN's entertainment reporter Chloe Mellis joins me now. Chloe, 5 million. I suppose we're used to sort of the large numbers of the blockbusters on the Fridays and Saturday numbers. So how do you rate the 5 million?
All right, well, Richard, hello there. And it is not too shabby. $5 million, just fine. The movie is projected to make about $6.5 million today and a $30 million projected 5-day opener. The movie came out Wednesday in the United States. I've seen the movie, Richard. One of the perks of my job, I get to see these movies in advance, and it's great. People are gonna love it. And just like you said before, this is the first time in Hollywood that we've seen an all-Asian cast in 25 years, not since the Joy Luck Club. And why this is so important, Richard, is because Hollywood has been notorious for whitewashing, for casting American white people in Asian roles, in African-American roles for years. And, you know, to see this type of representation on screen is big for the Asian community.
Right. This is a huge step forward and an advancement in that sense. If the audience takes to this, is there any evidence yet as to how the audience, as this is playing out? The anger that there has been, if you like, at the whitewashing, will only be noticed when they start actually changing things and viewers and moviegoers go to see it.
Well, this is the first step. Hollywood has been with this Me Too movement, with, you know, calling out, like Scarlett Johansson recently when she was going to be cast as a transgender man in a movie, and now she has backed down from that role. And you see, you know, from TV shows to movies where people are getting cast in the right roles. I mean, if you look at The Great Wall with Matt Damon just in 2017 that took place in 11th century China, why he was cast with the man bun and everything in that role, he had harsh criticism at the time. So yes,
fair criticism, because at the end of the day, you are employing the right actor for the right role at the right time. And Matt Damon does bring with him millions of adoring fans who are likely to go and see it.
That's true, but at the same time, people want to see themselves in films, and we want accurate representation, and that is what this is all about. Will Crazy Rich Asians be one of the biggest blockbusters of the summer? No. But does it break down barriers for Asian American actors to have these rightfully so roles for themselves? Yes, especially when you look at movies from the beginning of Hollywood that have,
back to this idea, because when the transgender case came out just earlier this year that you were talking about in the casting of that particular movie, I noticed very carefully that the criticism was, that the call was to allow for a transgender actor to take the role, thus creating more opportunities in that sense. But if that diverse character doesn't come with star power, then what happens to the movie?
But see, I say too bad, right? Then let a new star rise and have that role, and we don't have to see the same actors in all of these movies. Personally, as someone who covers entertainment, I get tired of seeing the same people in the same roles. But, you know, when we had the television show on Amazon, Transparent, obviously so many people were upset that it was a man playing the role of this transgender woman. So again, it's an issue that we're seeing across the board, but people are really making an effort, and studios and studio heads, to make sure that this does not become a problem in the future.
Have a good weekend. Thank you. Really appreciate the discussion.